Indeed. All right, we're live. We are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Dark Mushroom Media, episode 43.
Yeah.
Look, I was prepared. Sort of. I don't know. Anyways, we've got a hell of a lot of stuff to talk about. We've got some E3 nonsense. A lot of E3 nonsense.
Mostly E3 nonsense.
Mostly E3 nonsense. As well as a few DLCs, game editions, a few other things. But yeah, that's going to be the bulk of things. I'm sure we'll touch on the conferences a little bit and our thoughts on everything. But yeah, Tim, go ahead and lead it off. What do we...
Let's knock out all the updates quickly, and then we'll just dive into the E3 bullshit. Killing Floor 2, a game we're known to love, finally got its sharpshooter update, which is something Palmer has been waiting for 14 months. So
something like that,
yeah. So that's out. Mixed reactions on it. Isaac in particular was really funny. He was going back and forth. He's like, "Oh man, this is fucking awesome." And then like a couple hours in, he'd be like, "Hey, I'm not really liking this rail. I don't like the railgun, or the Winchester feels kind of off." And they'd be like, "Actually, wait, there's an alt fire for this, and it's amazing." So it's kind of funny, the back and forth that the entire community seems to be doing with it. But in addition to it, 2 community maps, some new achievements, new stuff, weapon. Like it's pretty solid update. I will say when they initially were in the beta stages and putting it to the live, they fucked with the resistances a lot. What they wanted to do is kind of like certain Zeds would have certain resistances to certain classes, and it was fucking bonkers. Like as a stalker with a double A shotgun, it would take like 2 or 3 shots to kill a spider monkey little fucking Zed thing. Yeah, it was fucked. They've since then improved on it, and but the community was fucking furious. Like it was fucked. It's still kind of fucky, but it seems to be going towards the right direction. But
so is that like supposed to put an emphasis on like choosing multiple classes and like working together?
Yeah, like working. I think that's what they were going for, but it just kind of they fell flat on their face with that. And the resistances are still there, but they've toned it down a bit. But it seems to be getting to a. Hopefully, it'll get to a sweet spot, and it seems that that's what they're trying to do with it. But yeah, initially it was just fucked. But yeah, some new maps, community made maps, and a bunch of new stuff. And the modding for it has gotten pretty nutty. The other day I played on a Super Mario N64 map, which took place outside of the castle.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
Isaac's his best efforts to figure out how the map breaks and where he would die. He would just find random points in the map where he would just fall into oblivion and die, like as the wave started, and then be pissed. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, Killing Floor is coming along swimmingly.
Okay.
A few speed bumps here and there, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Hopefully, maybe another year, it'll fucking be done. More update stuff. Battlefleet Gothic Arma got its first content pack, the Spasmarines.
Yep.
Pretty powerful ships. Not a whole... Space Marines isn't like something you're going to field a lot of. It's not like the Imperial Guard where there's just endless supply of them. But the ships are pretty powerful. The abilities are pretty powerful. They play a little bit differently. Well, they play a lot differently than the Imperial Guard. It's nice little addition. And of course, it was free to anyone who buy... I think if you still buy the game now, it might still be free. It's the first 2 months after launch. But yeah, Space Marines. And Mordheim, which is the kind of XCOM-ish Warhammer strategy game, got its first substantial expansion in the form of the Witch Hunters, basically a brand new faction, which, Falmer, you'll be familiar with, the Witch Hunter guy in Vermintide. Basically, a whole faction of those assholes are now in the game. And they've been doing pretty good with it. Like, it's priced at $10. It's got a 25% off discount at launch. Like, they're not overpricing shit. They're not putting out too much shit for it post-release. They seem to have found their jive for it real nice, so I'm happy with that. What else update-wise? I guess might as well point out now that Day of Infamy, something we touched on previously in this cast, which is the World War II Insurgency mod, is getting early access and turning into a full game. Early access is coming next month in July. Really looking forward to that, to the point where I might not be buying too much during the Steam sale because I want to have funds when that comes out, because I fucking love Insurgency and I fucking love World War II, so how can that fuck up? Simple as that.
We'll see, man.
And what else? Ubisoft is starting their, as Palmer put it, the Origin thing, where they start giving away games to kind of win back goodwill from their community. They're basically doing a free game each month for the rest of the year, and I think the first one is Prince of Persia.
Now, is the original like
The 2003 one, not the original. I think
Okay, so it's not like the 2006 or 7 reboot, right? Not the cell shaded one.
no, not the cell shaded.
Okay, all right.
It's a couple games before that. I think it was the '03 one.
Okay.
But yeah, they're basically trying to win back some goodwill. Good luck, I guess. I don't hate Ubisoft. I don't love Ubisoft. I'm pretty middle ground with Ubisoft. They're all right, I guess. They fuck up from time to time, but who the fuck doesn't? And wow, okay, I blew through that way quicker than I thought. I guess to take 2 seconds to talk about Fable Fortune, which was a game that was developed in secret by Lionhead. Then Lionhead shut down.
Yeah.
Developers were like, "Hey, we basically made this game. Let's throw it on Kickstarter." I don't want to say they fucked up their Kickstarter, but they did not handle it well.
I fucking told you they weren't going to hit.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't even. It was still 9 or 10 days away from finishing, and yeah, they had raised a little over 50,000 of the 250,000 pounds they were going for.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the way they handled it, the reward tiers, it was all kind of fucky. I honestly, it's hard, how do you fuck up a big franchise like Fable on Kickstarter? Anyway, they basically said, "Hey, we got funding from somewhere else. We're giving Kickstarters the pre-alpha build, and you know, we'll continue. The people who did Kickstarter will continue to get beta access." So I'm pretty happy. But yeah, that shit looks like they got the funding, so it's going to be rolling out on Steam for the masses relatively soon, with inside of like 2 or 3 months, I want to say. And you can sign up for the closed beta on their website. I messed around with it for an hour. I guess Palmer, basically what I did was I played like if you can remember when we first started up Hearthstone, you played through the computer to like unlock cards, you know, level up your guy on cards, and that was basically what I did for like an hour or so.
Okay.
Messed around with all the classes. It's a tremendous amount of fun. It's very similar to Hearthstone, but a lot of the core mechanics are different. Like you can just quick things. Like you can only have 6 minions on the field instead of something like taunt minions, which, you know, your enemy will have to attack before attacking your face. Each player has an ability to spend like 1 gold or 1 mana, if you will, to set any minion they want to block. So any creature on your field, you pay 1 gold or 1 mana, and you can set that to block. And there's lots of little different.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's lots of little different abilities that like Hearthstone doesn't have, or little tweaks on Hearthstone abilities. Obviously it's not the only thing that can kill Hearthstone at this point is Hearthstone. So it's not like it's gonna, you know, dethrone Hearthstone. Can I say Hearthstone anymore? But it's definitely cool. I'm really happy with it, considering this was just a pre-alpha build and it's pretty fleshed out. It looks good. Little tweaks here and there need to be made, but again, pre-alpha. But yeah, Fable Fortune looks like it's going to be something really cool, and it kind of needs to be, because Hearthstone is fucking huge. Card games are just, there's fucking more of them popping out of the woodwork every day. Elder Scrolls is starting to get their foot in the ring with this, so they need to put out a solid product, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. So I'm very happy with that, even though the Kickstarter failed before.
We will see.
We will, Palmer. We will.
I just don't think Fable has the same branding behind it like that anything backed by Blizzard does.
Oh no, you're absolutely right. Fable has a certain charm to it, and I think that's what'll let it succeed, because if Fable is fucking anything, it's fucking charming. Like, it's very kind of Monty Python-ish.
I'd say the first and the second one were. I didn't really find that essence in the third one.
A lot of people didn't like the third. I thought the third one was okay, but a lot of people didn't like the third one, understandably so. But yeah, just the first game, the second game, you know, with the fucking dumb blacksmithing side quests or mini games and shit. Fable has its certain charm, and it's definitely translating over into the card game. Like, there are some fucking goofy cards like Sir Meowsworth, which is like the dumb little floofy Fable cat, and just Fable drunks. It's going to be. I think it's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to more builds for that coming out. But that about covers all the little things. Now we can just dive right into E3 bullshit.
All right.
Which I'm going to let you start rattling off some stuff, because we both have a big list in front of us that we apparently have to get through inside of the next hour.
Well, why don't I just rattle through the Sony stuff real quick, because you don't have too much of an input on any of that stuff.
I can pretend I care. I can do that for you, Palmer.
So a bunch of stuff was announced at the Sony conference. We got God of War, which is a complete reboot, or at least it seems to be, from what I understand. I mean,
didn't know
it's definitely got Kratos in it and everything, but it no longer looks like the God of War that like people are used to. It definitely looks a lot more like, actually the mechanics reminded me a lot of The Last of Us, which I'm kind of on the fence about, because I really like The Last of Us is The Last of Us. I don't want I don't want another.
You don't want Kratos fucking it up.
Yeah, dude, I don't want, anyways, I keep seeing memes about Disappointed Dad Simulator 2016, and I'm pretty sure that's what that game's going to end up being. Nonetheless, Kratos has a beard, and
It changes everything.
I guess that makes him cooler. The gameplay stuff that they showed was actually pretty intriguing. Like I said, it was pretty similar to The Last of Us. I wish it would be more of the hack and slash God of War that at least I loved. I know a lot of millions of other people fucking loved about that franchise. Just refine the character a little bit, pull them in, and continue to make it that hack and slash style gameplay. I really hope that's what they're going to end up doing, maybe from a third-person perspective. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. Either way, I'm a huge God of War fan, so that's definitely going to be something that I'm going to pay attention to. Days Gone is a biker zombie game, basically Sons of Anarchy in a apocalyptic world.
Oh man, mentioning Ron Perlman before the mention.
I don't know. It looks okay. Once again, looks very Last of Us.
But it's got Starkiller in it. How can it be bad? I wanted a new Force Unleashed game.
Just the sheer amount of I guess they're zombies. I don't know. They're once again some sort of creatures that run really, really fast. They may not necessarily be zombies.
They're fast.
Yeah, maybe
running zombies.
But there were like hundreds of them on the screen like at a time, and this guy was like basically trying to get them, into a choke point, so you could just like pump rounds into these hundreds of running zombies. I dare say that there were as many really good looking zombies as there are in like fucking, I don't know, what's it, Dead Rising, just hundreds of them, except these are like really, really fantastic looking. Like they look so much better than they did on the Xbox 360.
That remastered though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So anyways, the point is this game lacks any humor. It looks very, very sad. The person that this guy was hunting down died violently, and yeah, I don't know. Looks like a game.
It does look like a game.
I'm intrigued enough to continue paying attention to it, but I don't know how to feel about it quite yet. Horizon. I was really excited about this game when it was announced in 2015. The gameplay stuff that Sony showed at their conference left me really lukewarm to it. I'm still fascinated by the concept, mechanical dinosaurs strolling through a post-apocalyptic wasteland that has had time to regrow, and people going back to basically caveman days and hunting mechanical dinosaurs is a really fucking awesome concept. It really is. But I don't know. Once again, I feel like I've seen all this gameplay already. It was standard third-person shooter affair, aiming down with bows and everything, and you were harvesting crafting materials from the mechanical dinosaurs that you were destroying, and there was some really interesting stuff in terms of trapping. You could basically shoot harpoons into these things and force them to remain where they were. And if you can lock them down enough, you get access to special I guess attacks that you can do. At least that's kind of how it appeared to me in the trailer. I don't know. I'll keep paying attention to it. I really like Guerrilla Games. I think they make great stuff. I was a huge fan of the Killzone franchise, so just because of that, I'm gonna maintain some interest in that.
Killzone was awesome,
but it does seem like it's pretty generic gameplay, at least right now. Detroit Becomes Human was another one that really fascinated me. I'm a huge fan of Quantic Dream, even Beyond, and I don't know. I really liked Beyond Two Souls. I really liked Heavy Rain. I think they're a fantastic developer. I think they do some really, really interesting stuff. I don't know. I kind of view them as a more technologically profound Telltale games. It's like a choose your own adventure type thing, but you're never really it gives you the illusion of control, but you don't ever really have. You're really just kind of there for the story, and they just deal with. I don't know, they do all the motion capture stuff, and I don't know, it looks like a movie. Anyways, this fucking trailer looked amazing, absolutely just like unbelievable. I was really fascinated by the concept behind it. It seems like, AI are starting to try to turn against their, I guess, humans, which is supposed to be like one of the, like, the rules that they can't break. And so they use other AI to kind of like get the situation taken care of. So it looks like you would assume the control of one of these AI, and you kind of are like a detective type thing. Looks really interesting. Definitely keep people updated on that one. Um, let's see. Resident Evil got a VR announcement. Well, sort of VR. So from what I understand is like it looks like it's a VR experience, at least from the trailer that they showed during E3. But I've also read stuff that this will be completely playable without any VR headset. And I'm really not sure like what to make of it. They had a really odd choice of music to me. It didn't really fit the theme, I guess. I don't know. The music just didn't seem to make sense to me. The end of the trailer was more just like a montage of just really creepy shit than it was actually like gameplay footage or anything. So I don't know. I'm with as bad as everything's been after Resident Evil 5, like I'm really skeptical.
They've actually got a new game coming out in like a couple weeks, and it looks really shitty.
Yeah, I'm really skeptical about this, just because of the Resident Evil name. Once again, it'll be something that I pay attention to. I'm in the corner. I'm rooting for him. I really am. But Capcom has fucked up way too many times lately. I mean, even fucked up Street Fighter, dude. Like, come on. I really just don't have the patience for that bullshit anymore. So, Capcom, you gotta really rein it in if you're gonna keep me focused on that one. PSVR, speaking of which, has got a release date. It's announced. It's October 13th. Sweet, hooray! That's awesome. It's the cheapest headset on the market. It's gonna work perfectly with your PS4. I know that appeals to a lot of console gamers, and just because of that, I honestly believe that it will be the best-selling headset for VR for quite a long time.
You just want it to be the best-selling headset?
No, dude, I really don't think like anything's gonna outsell it. Like, I don't know, like think about it. Like the PC community just seems kind of like intrigued by VR, but like at the same time, I know a lot of people that are just kind of like, well, there's nothing out that really makes me want to utilize it yet. Like, and I don't think that I think that the barrier of entry is much lower for the PSVR software or hardware. I mean, than it is for like buying an Oculus. I mean, even an Oculus is still $500 fucking. Like the Vive is what, 800? Like what? And there's all this exclusivity bullshit that's happening. Like I don't know,
I still
dude.
think it's going to go the way of fucking 3D gaming, personally.
Yeah, dude, I think it's gonna go the same way, as motion gaming did, like with the Wii and everything. Like I just don't think it's gonna last, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I really hope that something awesome comes out of it because really, really, like it would be fucking great to have a truly VR experience that is astounding. That's not just in the cockpit of a spaceship.
Bro, do you even Virtual Boy? Come on now.
So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with it ultimately. But yeah, PSVR October 13th. There was a whole bunch of stuff that they talked about. Some of the highlights that seemed intriguing to me were Final Fantasy 15. That's going to be some sort of VR experience. They kept using this term throughout the fucking presentation.
Was it a trigger word, Palmer?
I don't know what it is. Like, what is an experience? Like that is not why can't you just call it a game? If it's a game, just let me play the game. Why does it have to be an experience?
Why do you have to make me feel things?
Why do you have to make me experience that? Well, so like I'm pretty sure that's just code for this is a 20-minute long game that lets you fuck around and do something, and
that's exactly what it is.
Gonna pay $60 for it. There's also an Arkham VR experience. Batman Arkham. I mean, Battlefront X-Wing VR experience. Oh, okay. And now we're saving the heavy hitters for the very end. Death Stranding, the new Kojima game, was very weirdly announced. Norman Reedus cries in front of a baby, and there are floating things in the sky, and the music was fucking incredible.
Fucking bizarre.
It was just like one of the most... Like, after I was done watching that trailer, me and a couple of my friends were just like, what the hell is this even supposed to be? Like, what the fuck is on his neck, first off? Why are there dirty handprints all over his naked body? And what the fuck is floating in the sky? Anyways, Kojima,
Lost his goddamn mind.
I could, yeah,
And
but
has a blank check to do so. So
I know
Godspeed, sir.
that's the part that worries me, right? Like Konami kept Kojima in check. The kept the Co's in check.
That's just running wild.
You
Bohan
know,
is without a
they
railroad.
were probably like, no, don't do this, but Sony's just gonna be like, here's money, like they did with every other studio that they've ever purchased, minus Santa Monica and Naughty Dog. Those are the only studios that make money for them. You know, it's just, I don't know. I think I hope it's awesome. I love Kojima games, obviously, with as much as I fucking rant about Metal Gear Solid 5, but yeah, dude, I don't know what to make of this. We'll see eventually. And then ending conference was Insomniac's new game. They unveiled their project, and it's Spider-Man on the PS4, and it looks fucking legit. I love Insomniac games. They have never made a bad game in my eyes. I'm really excited for this.
Aren't they one of the ones GameStop owns now?
Yeah.
Well, rip Palmer.
I just, they've never made a bad game. Never made a bad game, Tim. Never made a bad game. Hopefully they won't go tripwire and fuck everything up.
I will murder you. Murder you, Palmer.
Never made a bad game, dude. They like their entire catalog from start to finish is they've made some good games, but they've made a bunch of great games. So yeah, that's pretty much the blow by blow for the Sony conference. Overall, I thought it was pretty impressive. I did like the fact that there was really no filler, that it was pretty much just like gameplay trailer after gameplay trailer after just, you know, announcement trailer and then all this other shit. But yeah, there was some really, really cool stuff coming out of that. I guess we can let's touch on the EA stuff next, because we can talk about Titanfall.
Gruntfall, all that matters.
Yep. So Tim, you're excited about this game?
Yes, I'm an avid Titanfall fan. I still play Titanfall to this day. Actually, I started revving up my Titanfall playing because I want to grab a lot of the achievements on the Xbox version before 2 comes out, which I wasn't expecting until next March, and then all of a sudden it's out in like 4 months. So fuck.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm very happy for it. I think it was just before E3. They put out both a single player and multiplayer trailer. The single-player trailer is you and your adventures with your giant robot friend as you roam the wasteland. I don't give a shit. It looks cool. Titanfall having single-player is something a lot of people were complaining about with the first one. It made sense. I mean, it was still, don't get me wrong, I love Titanfall. But yeah, single-player definitely would have benefited from, if anything, just to flesh out the story a little bit. So I'm happy that's coming out. And the multiplayer trailer, as you pointed out earlier, Palmer, it looked very scripted, but it just looking at it, you can see there's a lot more shit it's a lot more immersive than the first one. There's a lot more shit that looks a lot more smooth gameplay wise. Yeah. There's a couple cool new features that look really good. And the thing that made me very happy, which I was predicting for about a year now, because about a year ago, Titanfall said, have all our content for free. All the maps and modes for Titanfall post-launch will be free.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest parts of that announcement that really intrigued me. I was
very happy about that.
I was really excited about that too.
It works. Like, it's working for Halo. It works for it kind of sort of works for Rainbow Six Siege. They have a season pass, but you can still get all the content for it. The point, the shit is starting to work. You know, throw a couple skins in the game to generate a little bit of revenue. No one will give a shit. Like, that's fine. Just have all the content so you don't divide up your community, because that's why Titanfall really fell off.
Was it?
Well, no, yeah, okay. A lot of people thought I got old after a while, but the fact that the community was fucking separated like 3 months after it came out did not help things at all. And now that the fucking it's all free, like there's still I get on Titanfall at 3 or 4 in the morning to play a match 2 before I go to bed, and there's still like 5,000 people on, which like on PC it's like maybe 1,000 around that time of night. But Xbox is fucking churning out them numbers. But yeah, just having people on the same fucking. Having this player base in one fucking community, that's you need that in a multiplayer game, and that's what Titanfall fucking is. So I'm very happy about that shit.
Yeah, real quick, touching back on the very clearly scripted multiplayer demo that they did. Here's my concern, right? So they're adding. You're talking about all this new shit that they're adding to it. My concern is this. That eventually they're going to cross over into the Call of Duty avenue, and they're just going to add too much. You know, think about like how Modern Warfare was, the jump between Modern Warfare 1 to Modern Warfare 2. and everybody was like, oh, this is fun. People ate it up for like 3 months, and then they were like, this is fucking
No,
awful.
that's fucking awful. No, it's a legitimate concern. A lot of people are also worried about, like, they're talking about adding in new Titans and stuff like that. And people are like, well, the 3 core were kind of good. If you expand beyond that to 5 or 6, it could become an issue. People
Yeah.
are worried about that shit too. So yeah, I mean, it's an absolute something you should consider. But I don't give a fuck. I like Titanfall. They really they'd have to work at it to really fuck it up. It's a really fun formula, in my opinion. But as you pointed out, some people got tired of it after a while. Like,
Yep.
I remember when it launched, there were a lot of us playing Titanfall
I
regularly.
really hope they do away with the burn card concept because that shit is so dumb. I'm done with it. Please, I'm so sick.
I'm pretty neutral. I've used half the time I forgot to use them, and then
Yeah.
the other half of the time all I used them for was like
Well,
XP boost.
It
So.
was interesting when they released it, right? But then like every other fucking multiplayer shooter started doing burn cards, and like I'm done with it. Please, please.
I've
please.
heard no confirmation one way or the other. So we
Okay,
guess it's
yeah.
a wait
I don't
and
even
see.
know if that's really. That literally just occurred to me right now. So
Just fuck burn cards.
fuck burn cards.
Love the way your brain works.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
But yeah, really fucking. I don't really give a shit about E3 usually or anything around it because it's really just one giant fucking YouTube ad. But if it's the shit you get excited for, you get fucking hyped for it, and I'm pretty hyped for Titanfall too. So,
Yeah, dude,
and I am really genuinely surprised it's coming out this October. I did not expect it till March. So,
yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with it, I guess. So, I mean, like, definitely, I enjoyed Titanfall. I definitely got I picked it up, as a day one release. I definitely got my $50 worth out of that game. But I don't think I played it more than like 3 weeks. And
a lot of people didn't.
I hopped on it with you occasionally after that, like, and then it just got like progressively more and more rare. And I don't think I've touched it in 8 months, probably.
They have to launch with Frontier Defense. That mode was so good, and it came out after everyone had stopped giving a fuck about Titanfall, so no one really played it.
Yeah, well, that was
They're
another
horrible.
problem with like the launch of the game was they added a whole bunch of modes afterwards, and like you got sick of it. Yeah, I really hope that they like take the time to kind of include all of that in there in this one, and
Well, it's not necessarily a
launch a
bad
more
thing. It's
complete
just
product.
your best foot forward. Like put all the good shit out, and then maybe work on some of the other stuff. Put that out like Halo does.
Yeah.
But don't hold back giant key features for a few months just to kind of prolong the longevity of your player base.
Right, right. Other two interesting things to come out of EA were they showed some more Battlefield 1 footage. They gave a release date for that, October also. October 21st. That's another big problem with Titanfall for me is the fact that I'm probably going to pick up Battlefield 1 over Titanfall.
For done for life, boys.
Battlefield 1 just looks so good. The gameplay footage that they showed off was great. I don't know if you saw Snoop Dogg blatantly smoking a giant blunt while he was playing in the middle
Snoop
of
Dogg smoking weed? No.
but like in the middle of a fucking E3 arena. Like
Just gonna fuck with Snoop Dogg. He's
yeah,
fucking...
I guess that's true. But yeah, it looks great. I think the more I see of it, the more excited I get about it. I think that they're nailing everything with this.
I just stopped giving a fuck when I found out that French is going to be a DLC faction in World War I setting. I kind of just stopped giving a fuck right then and there. So, but hey, I mean, some awesome gameplay footage comes out. Maybe I'll give a fuck again.
Yeah.
But I do that.
The
that
other
is,
thing
that's
that
so
really
ridiculous.
impressed me was in the gameplay footage that I saw, the destructibility was very, very good. I mean,
Evolution is back.
you could like blow away entire trenches. There were, obviously like there were smaller buildings. A lot of these maps are a lot more sparse, so the buildings that are there seem to be completely destructible. I don't know. We'll see what else happens with it, but it looks like a hell of a lot of fun. The other thing that they showed and kind of like teased about is Mass Effect 4. Looked pretty. That's really all I have to say about that.
Everyone's just kind of waiting on that one.
Yeah, pretty much how I feel about it. Let's go to... You want to tackle Bethesda, Microsoft, or Ubisoft next?
I don't give a fuck.
Let's just get through the Microsoft bullshit.
Don't sound too excited about it.
They announced not one but two new fucking Xboxes. One of them was fully announced with a release date and a price point. The other one is teased to be coming out later. And one of them is the Xbox One S, so it's just the slim version. Looks a little sleeker. It still looks like a giant brick. There seems to be no real. I mean, they've added a few little additions here and there, but in terms of like processing power and hardware, it seems to be on par with the original Xbox One. The 4K version that they teased, obviously, that's they said something about 6 teraflops, which is pretty good. But yeah, they're gonna be, it's got to be good if they're gonna be playing in 4K. That's really the bottom line for that one.
I thought the 4K was just for like Blu-rays and shit.
No, they were saying like everything was gonna be in full 4K.
Pretty sure that's just video. Like I'm almost certain that's just video.
I thought they said completely. I don't know. That's I don't know. Look it up real quick. So we can confirm on that. I'm pretty sure everything was fully 4K, but I don't know. We'll
You
see.
could run anything in 4K with the fucking Xbox loadout.
Division got some DLC announced during the Xbox conference. It's called Survival. It's going to be out in September. Only reason that we're really talking about that is because Tim maintained a slight interest in that for about 2 days.
Well, they just like fucking fucked up the game a month or two into the game life.
Bad,
so
from what I understand,
yeah, player base drop way the fuck off. But hey, that means it'll be like $20 relatively soon. Then I'll give a fuck about it.
Yeah. They're adding General Ram from Gears of War into Killer Instinct this season. They showed a little bit of a trailer for him. Looks brutal. Looks awesome.
They have had some weird characters in this season, like
Battletoads,
Battletoads, Arbiter.
They had the Arbiter.
Fuck. Yeah, the Arbiter's. There's like an elite level with like Covenant ships in the background blowing shit up, and yeah, the Arbiter's got an energy sword. That's what really like. I was like, oh, I'm getting season 3 when I saw the Arbiter, and then all these weird characters like Battletoads and fucking Ram are coming out. It's like, wow, I really have to get this fucking season.
And then speaking of Gears of War, they did a Gears of War 4 gameplay trailer. We got to kind of like roam with the squad, and they went into a cave and picked up a new weapon called a buzzkill. So basically, this thing is like it shoots like spinning blades that can ricochet off walls and stuff, and kind of use them to hit enemies that be able to normally hit that are behind cover. And they introduced a couple new gameplay mechanics. One of them involved dodging a lot of electricity. I'm not sure if that's from like an enemy weapon or if it was just like a natural disaster of some sort that was happening during the level. More on that later, I guess, if they discuss it. It looked like a pretty cool thing though.
Still no details on Horde though.
Yeah, no, at least not that I can remember from the conference.
Oh, if something popped up, I would have caught it. Like that's it's the only thing I give a fuck about with Gears anymore. So they really need to fucking figure out what they're doing.
Let's see here. Sea of Thieves looks really cool. So it's basically like I don't know, it looks kind of cartoony, but it's a Star Citizen with pirates, pretty much. Apparently you can kind of like build your own ship and then go on adventures with your friends and plunder other ships and
drink a lot, apparently.
Drink a lot and get some booty and
live that Flint Flossy life.
Yeah, you know, treat yourself like a pirate. That's basically basically I want to play that fucking song Yar har fiddle dee dee.
The Hailstorm version, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that looks really exciting. I'm definitely going to keep everybody posted on that as things get closer to the release date for that. There was some touching on Halo Wars 2. There was a little bit of gameplay footage that came out. It was all in German, and I didn't understand a word that was being said, but it looks cool.
For Halo Wars 2?
Yeah.
I dicked around with the beta for a little bit. It feels like Halo Wars. So.
Does it play any better on the Xbox?
I remember it played well, and I remember Halo Wars playing well, which for an RTS on a console is fucking mind-blowing to accomplish, so they got that right, I guess. But yeah, it didn't feel very weird. Like, we always talk about how whenever we go back to consoles, mainly first-person shooters, how there's like a hour or two learning curve that we have to like, you know, get our shit back together because we're so used to mouse and keyboard. I didn't have that with Halo Wars 2. I was just right in fucking around, getting dick stomped pretty much immediately. They need to fuck around with the balancing of that game a little bit. Because right now, pretty much every win condition I saw was like build one certain type of unit and just spam the living shit out of it.
I mean, that's kind of like how it was though for RTSs back at that point. Like think about StarCraft, like everybody just built Hydralisk on the Zerg or fucking.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it is very rock paper scissors. But looked good, played pretty good. Few bugs here and there, but it's a fucking beta for a game that's coming out in like 10 months, to be expected. But yeah, I've nothing but positive things to say about Halo Wars 2.
Really, what excites me the most is just being able to play it on PC. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be about.
And I'm really excited for I'm happy to pay for the $80 edition that comes with the definitive, the definitive Halo Wars 1 that you can get on both Xbox One and PC. That comes with all the DLC and shit. So yeah, that'll be I'll be very happy when I have that.
Yeah,
that's something I thought was pretty what fucked my brain up with the C3 bullshit, because I thought Titan Wars was out in March, Halo Wars was out in fall, and then those things basically switched. So I'm all fucked up because of that, Palmer. I was all ready for Halo Wars, but now I've got to wait like 10 fucking months.
Yeah, it'll be here sooner than you think.
Sad face.
We Happy Few. That was another one that really excited me. So basically, this game looked like a bit of a mindfuck. People were taking pills to make them happy, and this one guy decides he doesn't want to take his pills anymore, and then there was a pinata, and it turned out to be a dead rat that they were beating even more, and they were eating rat flesh, and I don't know, so he got called a downer a few times and then got beaten to death, and that was the trailer. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, everybody's kind of wearing these mime masks, and they all look, I don't know, it had a very BioShock vibe about it, but something BioShock meets 1984 meets Brave New World type dystopian bullshit. But yeah, it looked really cool. I was really excited by what's going on with it. More on that as details come. Really excited about that one. Let's see. We'll touch on. I don't know. That's about everything from the Microsoft conference. Let's see here. Touch on Bethesda. Leave the Ubi one for last. So Bethesda had a Quake game announced. From what I took away from it was that it was just an arena shooter, but Tim said that there were MOBA elements that were being introduced.
That's what I was reading on the Reddits. That it was hyped as a Quake MOBA, which confused me.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think having the time to think about when you brought that up earlier, I'm actually pretty excited by that.
Yeah, my brain, I didn't realize it was a first-person shooter. My brain, I was picturing like Quake from a Dota perspective, which just fucked my brain up. But yeah, with first-person perspective, I could see that.
Yeah, I think if that's what it ends up being, that could be something very interesting. As long as they keep that arena feel to it, that Quake feel, and just like maybe add like objectives or something, then I think it has potential to be pretty cool.
Just keep the jump sound. That's all that matters.
We'll just, I don't know. At this point, I think Overwatch kind of dominates any and all territory in that regard. I mean, it blew fucking Battleborn out of the water, and
I think Battleborn killed itself. But yeah, Overwatch definitely did not help at all.
I haven't seen anything about. Is it supposed to be bad or something? Like,
it's just not supposed to be terribly good, and yeah, shitty timing with Overwatch, and they're trying to keep maintaining people by lowering the price even lower and lower and lower. But yeah, as you pointed out, Overwatch remains king at the moment. So
I don't know, man. Gearbox is just, I can't remember. They haven't released anything good since Borderlands 2.
That I wouldn't even say that was
good. Fuck you. That was good. That was good. Chicken Head DLC, Tim.
Duke Nukem was the last. Duke Nukem was the last good Gearbox game. Obviously, Duke Nukem Forever, best game ever. The best.
All right. Look, if you're gonna sully Duke Nukem's good name, don't.
I'm praising. Amazing.
It was fucking awful, and you know
amazing.
It. Let's see here. Fallout 4 is getting a bunch of new DLC. It looks like more builder DLC. Tim, you seem kind of upset because you said you wanted more exploration DLC, but you haven't even touched the fucking exploration DLC that's been released.
Yeah. I started the robot one, but I haven't played Far Harbor yet. No, I'm disappointed isn't the right. Well, yeah, I get kind of, but it's not so much I'm mad about it. It's just I kind of want to see more story content or even just side missions and shit. But don't get me wrong, I think it's cool that they're expanding on the building, and just I imagine once all this shit is out, you'll be able to do some fucking crazy shit.
Yeah, dude, Nuka World in itself has me super intrigued, and the Vault Tech announcement also has me super intrigued. And there was another one called Contraptions. Apparently, that's just gonna let you build mechanical shit. The Nuka World thing, please, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
With only super mutants allowed in the park.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, dude, Roller Coaster Tycoon and Fallout would just be like, dude, just shut up and take my money. Like, I will dump another 100 hours into that game.
Hire death claws for staff. That'd be amazing.
And then the Vault Tech DLC is basically being able to open and operate your own vault. You can experiment on dwellers, which also has me super intrigued. I'm gonna be
Fallout Shelter was fun, so if it's anything like that, I'll be
That's
pretty
kind
happy.
of what it looked like. It was kind of like Fallout Shelter and Fallout 4, so could be cool. Could be cool. Let's see what else do we have here. Elder Scrolls is gonna step into the trading card game scene, I guess, with Elder Scrolls Legends. Looks intriguing. They introduced a little bit of gameplay during their session, and I don't know. What do you? It's just so interesting. I guess Hearthstone. Everybody's eyeing Hearthstone's success and just wants a piece of that pie at this point. And I mean, when comparing it to what's going on with Fable, I think Elder Scrolls probably has more pull than Fable does, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean,
no, I'd say that absolutely.
So I'm wondering, really what I want to see is how. I mean, it's definitely got more pull than both Fable and The Witcher. So what I want to see is where like Witcher Gwent holds up with the rest of it, and like what all that means.
Witcher's got a pretty strong following too, so
it definitely does after the third one. See, like I still for you haven't played the second one. I still know plenty of people that never played the second one.
Look, man, I played the first one. That shit was rough.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
rough.
But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what they do with this and how this ends up working.
I like some of the mechanics. I like the rune mechanic with it. When your hero takes a certain amount of damage, you get the rune to pop, and you get a little card, or not card, like an active ability sometimes. Yeah. Different little things that can happen that'll switch the game. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. It intrigued me enough to want to go sign up for beta access. So if I get that, I'll definitely be chiming in with more down the road. There was a Skyrim remaster announcement. I imagine that's really only going to appeal to people on consoles, but even the console people are getting access to mods now, so I don't know how much that'll even appeal to them. I mean, I guess, yeah, have to buy it if they want the mods. But anyways, yeah, it looks a hell of a lot prettier. They added a lot of bloom effects, a lot better lighting stuff, higher res textures, etc., etc. So it definitely looks a lot better as a base game. But there's mods, plenty of mods for PC players that make it look better than even that remaster.
Amazing.
So
it's ridiculous, some of those.
I mean, I think it's awesome that they're offering that to console players. But the other thing they announced was the fact that if you own all the DLC in Skyrim, you'll get this remaster for free.
On PC.
On PC. Obviously not on console. Yeah, PC only. But who fucking cares?
If you're on PC, you have access to Nexus mods.
Yeah, so I mean, that's great. I'm glad they're doing it. I guess that makes it easier for people that don't give a shit about modding and don't ever really dump into that.
That is a substantial portion of gamers, honestly.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good for them.
Yeah, it's good for the people that haven't, I guess, had a chance to experience Skyrim and all its beauty. Yeah, Tim. Let's see here. Doom is getting some snap map updates. They also talked about the multiplayer DLC. I really don't give a shit about that. I don't think anybody does. But the snap map updates look fucking legit. They're adding a whole bunch of new things to the snap map stuff, so you're going to have access to the full weapon wheel instead of only being able to carry like a couple guns at a time. You're going to have... I think they said they're adding like a whole bunch of new like mechanics for the way maps operate. You can now trigger traps. There's different things like in the levels that you can design, so you can script events and stuff now.
That's cool.
So yeah, and all the snap map stuff is free, and that's gonna apparently get released around the same time the first DLC is set to come out. But everybody will get the snap map stuff for free. So I really hope that kind of bolsters the snap map community, because what we played of that was a lot of fun. And I mean, aside from the wonky map or two that we jumped into, like, I don't know.
That's
I don't
bound to
want.
happen when you got community made stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But I still had a blast with it. I thought it was great. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, I guess Prey is the elephant in the room on this one. So it's no longer called Prey 2. It's just called Prey. Looks like it's a full-on reboot, and it looks like it's really got nothing to do with the first game.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, to an extent. I don't know really how to feel about it. I mean, I was definitely very intrigued by the trailer. You can count me on board for the hype train for that one, but it doesn't look like what I would have expected. Now, granted, when Prey 2 got re-announced, or when it was called Prey 2, it didn't really look anything like the original Prey did either. So, I don't know. I think they're just kind of like trying to delve off into a different direction with it while maintaining maybe some of the same elements.
It better maintain some of the same goddamn elements. And I want that shit put on Steam again, by the way.
Was it taken off?
It was taken off years ago, and for years the only way to get it was through like actual physical cases with the CD key. Those have become extremely rare in recent years. So I would like to see that on Steam again, because that game was the tits. I like that game a lot.
But there were a few things that kind of intrigued me about the trailer. There was a big emphasis on this guy's eye getting more and more infected as time went on. The aliens look a lot more mist-like and fluid than they did in Prey. And then I guess it's supposed to a tentative release date of next year is what I've gathered.
Probably not happening
For the game,
historically speaking.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Overall, Bethesda had a pretty strong showing. I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff that they were talking about. Let's move on to Ubisoft, which, Jesus Christ, count me in. Like, yeah, I'm just so hyped for a lot of the stuff that they're pitching to me. One thing that I will say is that this year's Ubisoft stuff looked like it really wasn't doctored at all. Watch Dogs 2 looked like shit, which is what I expected Watch Dogs 2 to look like. Not in terms of gameplay. Watch Dogs 2 actually looked pretty interesting. I don't know. It could be fun. Looks like the PS4 is going to get DLC earlier for Watch Dogs than anybody else. Everybody else is going to get it, I think, like 3 months later or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see how Watch Dogs 2 turns out. For Honor is one that I'm very interested in. Showed Tim the trailer for that one. Tim, you seemed pretty.
That was the first gameplay I've seen aside from the thing they put out like last year, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like a kind of looks like Viking, which was a game the Creative Assembly, the Total War people put out years ago, but it looks much better. But it's kind of like a Western Dynasty Warriors type look to it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. The thing that really excites me the most about For Honor, though, is the multiplayer. Just kind of having like a 4-way free-for-all. Just seems like it would be a hell of a lot of fun in that game. Like being able to kind of like choose your class and have like a serious brawl. Like, I don't know. It seems like it has the potential to be something really special. And the guy who's designing that is kind of crazy and walks around on a cane. So,
okay,
it's gonna be awesome.
Obviously.
Let's see, what else was there? Oh yeah, South Park: The Fractured But Whole. Superheroes action game, straying away from the fantasy RPG stuff that the first game did. Really super stoked for it. The trailer was fucking hilarious. It was really biting.
That's pretty good.
It was really biting on just kind of like the entire comic book industry as a whole. I mean, they took pot shots at everybody from Marvel for being racist to fucking DC for not being able to compete. So I mean, like, it was a really well done trailer. The gameplay that I saw for it also looks very intriguing. It looks like they're kind of like taking some of the core mechanics that were in the first game, but making it more of a brawler and less of an RPG. But there still seems to be like enemy weaknesses, like certain different, like you can kind of like use elements of the level to beat certain enemies. There's all sorts of really, really cool stuff that looks like it's happening with it. It seems to be kind of like pursuing the same route that the Stick of Truth did in terms of you're the new kid again, and you're kind of resuming your role from that. And now instead of, I guess it's supposed to be, Matt and Trey pitched it like it was like yesterday was the fantasy stuff, and today is the superhero stuff type of thing. So that's cool. We'll see how much it ties into the other game, but I love the Stick of Truth. I thought it was fucking fantastic. Tim, did you ever get around to playing that?
Never got around. Maybe I'll get it at the Steam sale.
I'm sure the Steam sale will probably have it super cheap this time.
It's been super cheap. I'm just an asshole. I've been. I told you earlier. I've been years behind on South Park, so I'm behind
honestly,
on South Park. I gotta catch up.
It's like a 10-hour game, man. just fucking marathon it one night. It's
That's probably how I'll do it.
It's so much
I mean,
fun.
the fucking Lord of the Rings South Park episode was probably one of my favorite, if not one of them. So the game itself, I definitely appeals to me.
And then the other big one that really is exciting me is Ubisoft showed off a bunch of Ghost Recon Wildlands gameplay. They revealed that it's going to be one massive world, and you can kind of take a helicopter from point to point, very much like Metal Gear Solid 5. Let's see. I made a note that the gameplay looks super serious, guys. Super serious.
Super serious.
So it's very Rainbow Six-esque in terms of like enemies only take a shot or two to bring down. You only take a shot or two of damage before you're down. A huge emphasis on tactical team gameplay, but it looks like there are a hell of a lot of different options that you can do. So the gameplay that we watched with the E3 demo was very stealth focused. Everybody was working together. They had a sniper, perched on one side. There was a guy entering the building from another side. Everybody was using silenced weaponries. Everybody was communicating over the microphones. They were taking guys out with headshots left and right. Now, the downside with games like these are they never ever happen that way when you're playing in a public game.
Sometimes, but it's very I've had a few games like that
rare.
in Siege, but yeah, it's super fucking.
It's super,
especially if you're playing, with you or one other person, and the rest of the people are random. So
yeah, exactly. So we'll see how much that ends up working out, but it also does have single. You can play through everything. Single player. You don't have to play it as a co-op game. And I mean, honestly, it looks like just a more serious version of Metal Gear Solid 5. And with as much as I love Metal Gear Solid 5, this game is just really intriguing me. I'm also a huge Ghost Recon fan. I really loved Advanced Warfighter. I thought that game was fantastic, and Advanced Warfighter 2 was okay. But I love some of the original Ghost Recon games. Those were great. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The whole cartel thing really intrigues me. I don't know. I mean, hopefully that's something that you guys will pick up and we'll be able to kind of like co-op at some point. But it looks like a hell of a lot of fun, especially with as much as you enjoyed Rainbow Six. This might be kind of like a new one to hook you, since it's so much more focused on co-op than it is, PvP. Let's see here. What else?
If you're running low, still got a handful of things to run through.
Actually, yeah, that's pretty much everything on my list. Go through that real quick. Not expect to go through that quickly.
Let's just knock out a couple quick ones real quick. Injustice 2 showed off some gameplay. With a couple new people. The two most prominent ones being Supergirl and Grodd.
Yep.
I'm okay with both those character choices. I really want Lobo back, but Lobo in the DC universe isn't even Lobo anymore. He's like some emo faggot. They kind of redid his character, which I'm sure once they reboot the universe, they'll bring back the old Lobo, or they fucking better, so who gives a fuck. But gameplay looked pretty good. I mean, just looked like Injustice, but graphical update, better looking backgrounds, more interactive, knock people through 800 walls, and it looks really cool type shit. So, yeah. You were a big Injustice fan as well, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. It's basically just Mortal Kombat with DC characters.
Yeah, so. I mean, somehow they managed to make it just as brutal and get a teen rating on it. Like
that is true.
They just lost the gore aspect and kept the brutal aspect. They'll break people's limbs, shit. I don't know. It's fucking great, man.
Mm-hmm.
They took the whole like DC versus Mortal Kombat idea and just like really ran with it and made it something special unto its own. And we both picked it up on PC around the same time. We played a few rounds against each other and shit. And yeah, I mean, I really ended up liking it. I know my friend R Ash is like super fucking excited about it. I sent him the trailer for it. He about like shot his pants, dude.
He is a DC fanboy.
So yeah, I mean, like, more injustice is not going to be a bad thing. And I have to say that, like, the one thing that worries me is that it is a WB game. What's gonna happen?
Got to get it on console.
Yeah,
basically.
What's gonna happen? I don't even think there's a PC release planned for it.
I don't think so either.
I'm pretty sure WB pretty much said that they're just going to focus on consoles. They cannot.
They threw up their arms and said, "We gave up."
Yeah,
so.
They could not figure out how the fuck to make games work on PC apparently. So yeah, I'm Xbox One, Injustice 2 purchase.
It's some use out of it, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to VR stuff. New Serious Sam game was announced, and it's going to be VR exclusive. When this was announced, I was very, very angry because I love me some Serious Sam. But the developers have come out and said we are still working on Serious Sam 4, so my blood rage subsided. But for people into VR stuff, an exclusive Serious Sam VR game, gameplay looked interesting. It's kind of cool to see Serious Sam in VR.
It's not exclusive in the sense that it's only going to be on like Oculus or...
No, just only on VR. Like, it won't have a release any like standard PC or Xbox or whatever. It's just going to be VR. But as far as what VR headset it's going for, no, there was nothing coming out. In fact, Oculus tried to buy them out or something. Remember Isaac was rambling on about like a week or so ago, and they refused it? Or it might have been NVIDIA, I can't remember. Some company tried to exclusively buy them out, and they said, no, fuck yourself. So, good guys, Serious Sam developers. But yeah, Serious Sam VR exclusive game, and apparently Serious Sam 4, which, yes.
What is the name of that developer? It's escaping me right now.
Cryo something? Cryo Team? No. Maybe?
Crytek?
Crytek? No, definitely not Crytek. I'm a Cryo Team or some shit. But, yeah, good guy developer on their part. Okay. Dawn of War 3 showed off some gameplay footage. Looks pretty cool, but it's still not really showing where it lies as in regards to, is it going to be more Dawn of War 1 gameplay? Pro Team, it is Pro Team, okay. They still haven't really established whether it's going to be more Dawn of War 1 gameplay, Dawn of War 2 gameplay, or somewhere in the middle, which I think everyone, I don't think a lot of people would prefer it to be somewhere in the middle, because both those styles of gameplay have some merit to them. But I think people want a bit more Dawn of War 1 in their Dawn of War series at this point in time, which is understandable because that shit was awesome. Yeah. But some of the changes in 2 were cool, and I'd like to see them carry over.
Absolutely.
But it's another kind of wait-and-see thing. But the trailer, footage they did show off looked really cool, so happy with that.
It looked legit. Once again, just... German, didn't understand a word of it, but
I sent you a non-German video, didn't I?
Did you?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to look into that a little later.
Thinking I'm just sending you German shit left and right. My God. Quick note, State of Decay 2 got announced, which is cool. Still don't know where they're going with it. Originally, State of Decay was supposed to come out, and then they were like, we're going to do an MMO version of State of Decay, and it's going to be awesome. And that never fucking happened, and this was back in 2013.
Yep.
So, no idea where State of Decay 2 is going, but it was announced, and that's cool, because I like State of Decay. I think it's a very cool game. It's very, plays into a lot of the survival hype bullshit, but it does a lot of things right. But it was only single player, so a lot of that stuff that's popularized is not there. So maybe State of Decay 2 will improve. Maybe. And then Mountain Blade Bannerlord, they put out a Siege gameplay video, which basically just showed off some gameplay, which there hasn't been a whole lot of, and fuck, that looks good. But as Palmer pointed out, it doesn't really look good. But for Mountain Blade standard, man, that shit looks amazing.
Yeah. I immediately, I think my exact reaction was, oh, wow, that looks pretty good. Actually, it still looks like shit.
Yeah.
But it looks much better than it did.
But yeah, I'm very, very excited for that. I think if the tentative release date is still 2016, I don't see that happening. But I'm okay waiting for that as long as it doesn't release completely fucked. So, yeah. And I know Jose's really fucking... Jose don't get hyped for many things, but he was pretty fucking hyped for that video. Because he loves him some Mountain Blade. Also, some Friday the 13th footage was shown.
Yes, I did see a couple clips of it, but I know there was like a whole 20-minute video that was released. I did not watch all of it.
Yeah, I didn't watch all that either. I just think it's interesting because the Payday 2 devs putting out basically the same game and it's been in beta for a while, and I think it's official release. It might have officially released already, or it's coming in the next week or so. But it literally is the Friday the 13th game, but it's coming out earlier, so I don't know who started the development first. I don't know what the story is behind all this shit, but I find it hilarious that about 10 months ago, Friday the 13th had a Kickstarter, and then 6 months later, the Payday 2 developers put out basically the same fucking game.
Yeah, well, I really just... My opinion on that is fuck the Payday 2 developers, Friday the 13th for life.
Yeah, I'm kind of in your corner on that one, too. A quick note, while we're talking about it, I love the Payday developers. Why, Palmer? They put Ron fucking Perlman in Payday 2. The Sons of Anarchy ride again, Palmer.
Yeah, that's really what it was, too. Like, yeah. At first, there was a guy with long blonde hair standing by the door that gets shot through the fucking door in the trailer. And I swear to God, I thought it was Jax.
You hope it's Jax.
I really did. I was like, oh my... And then, like, I think I even messaged you on Steam. I'm pretty sure I was like, wait a minute, Tim, that's not Jax. I thought it was going to be like a full-on fucking... Just, you know, everybody from Sons of Anarchy that was just going to be...
The bartender was the Irish guy and, like, their Irish club or whatever. So they had a couple of Sons people in the trailer. But, yeah, Ron Perlman, pretty much a Sons of Anarchy Ron Perlman in Payday 2. When I found that out, I didn't really give a shit, but I was so happy just to know that I'm going to be sending this to Palmer and the reaction that he would get out of it. Yeah. I don't actually care about the content itself, but just the reaction that Palmer had. That's what got me really excited.
Yeah.
But man, that is some stupid shit.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great way to describe that.
And the game's free for 2 weeks if you want to try it out. Herp derp derp derp. I think that covers most of the E3 stuff. I still got some Halo 5 stuff to ramble on about, but yeah, that is all the E3 stuff.
All right, let's do the Halo 5 stuff. Holy shit, man. We managed to cram all this into an hour.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised by that, too. Yeah, just a quick note. Firefight is coming out much sooner than I thought, and by this month. It looks like next week. Usually, historically, what they've done with their past couple updates is they do a live stream, which they're scheduled for Tuesday of next week, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then a couple days later, the update drops. So it looks like it's following that formula. They've put out some new stuff. They're adding in a new vehicle, which is a flyable vehicle. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. It's not the Falcon from Halo Reach, which I really want. Didn't come in the Reach update, and it's not coming in this update, but maybe in the future, probably not. But they're adding a new flyable vehicle, which looks kind of cool. The main thing is they're adding a Grunt Titan, basically. It is a Grunt mech that looks like a fucking Grunt, that has a giant fucking needler like a Grunt. It's mind-blowingly awesome. Yeah, that's going to be one of the new bosses. In addition to this update, they're doing campaign score attack like they had in Halo Reach. But the thing with Halo Reach is you could earn the credits to unlock stuff in that. I don't know if that's going to apply like it does with the packs in Halo 5.
That'd be pretty cool, though.
I would hope so. If they don't, it's like, what the fuck's the point?
Yeah, pretty much.
They've also came out and said they've tweaked a few things. One of the major things they tweaked, we both talked about how Firefight felt kind of easy. One of the things they're doing is as the waves progress, your respawn timer is increased significantly. So say you die wave 1, you're back in 10 seconds. Maybe wave 5, you have to wait for like half a minute before you can spawn. That way people don't just spawn and immediately rush back into wherever they died and get back into the fight that way.
Yeah, so that adds to the difficulty, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a smart approach to it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Sweet. I don't really mess around with the Xbox. This will get me back on the Xbox. So yeah, Firefight goodness. Hopefully next week.
Awesome.
Good shit. So yeah, we actually did cover this in just over an hour.
Holy shit, dude, we're amazing.
We are. We should be paid more.
We should. Speaking of paying us, we can't get any money from it, but it makes us happy when you view us on Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. And
YouTube, for the love of God.
YouTube, yes, that's the other one.
70% of our traffic comes from.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, check us out on any of those. Just search for Dark Mushroom Media. You'll find us. We also have a Steam group. You can, once again, search for Dark Mushroom Media. You'll find us. We do giveaways. All sorts of stuff. We gave away a Steam key to a Russian guy this week.
We did.
What was the game?
Magnifico.
Magnifico.
And we gave away a copy of Bejeweled 3 to some dude in Iraq.
Yeah, well, so everybody
supporting the troops.
We don't discriminate. Everybody gets a game.
more dots.
Yeah. So, do us a favor, interact with us on social media. Join the Steam group. get in all that nonsense. Next week we'll be back with Let's Play as per usual. And I don't know, maybe Jose, maybe not. We'll see. I don't know. That guy is just, he's a character.
He is a character.
Anyways, take care, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye-bye.